Okay guys, video number 2, it's not really step number 2, it's more of a common question that we get. How much money do I need to have before I go and start looking at homes, before I even start the whole process of purchasing a home? So let's talk a little bit about the different items where you're going to need money, and there's a little bit of options, and there's always some gray area and some ability to negotiate and figure that out, right? So you're going to need first your earnest money. We're going to make another video about what earnest money is, but typically it's either 1% of the purchase price. $1,000 is also a very common amount. There's no specified amount of your earnest money. In the video about earnest money, we're going to talk about why it's important on how much we put down and what that's saying to the seller, but you're going to need money for the earnest money. So let's just say $1,000 for that. In addition, you're going to have an inspection if you want one. You're not required to have an inspection, but we highly suggest you get an inspection. We can walk through a home and we can take a look at various things throughout the property and see if there's many major issues that come along. But there's so many things that we can't see when we do a 15-minute or a 30-minute walk through a home. That's where the inspector is going to come in. They're qualified in order to do electrical and the plumbing and all of those kinds of things if you get the right home inspector. They're not actually required to be licensed in Utah, but the home inspection company that we recommend is actually licensed and certified, even though they don't have to be, because they want to make sure that they're giving the best service. Okay, so the next thing you're going to be needing money for is your appraisal. Now this could be anywhere from $500 to $800, maybe more, maybe less. It all varies from lender to lender and appraisal company up to appraisal company. You're going to be paying this at the time before the appraisal actually happens. You have to typically pay it up front. Some lenders will allow you to roll it into the loan or have it paid as a closing cost. It's going to be between you and your lender on that part, but that is something that you're going to need to have set aside, somewhere around $800 for that. Okay, so lastly, we have your down payment money. This is going to be on an FHA loan, typically 3.5%, on a conventional anywhere from 5 to 20%, but there are a ton of different options, and this is really where that gray area I was telling you about comes into play. Is we have zero down loans where you actually even get your earnest money back for the most part on these different types of loan products, as well as the more you put down, up to 20% or more, get you a better loan package, right? So it's going to be your current situation. So if you have 20% down, awesome, you're going to have a great time. But if you don't have 20% down, if you just have the money for your earnest money, for your inspection, for your appraisal, we can typically still get you into a property. Now the loan programs are going to be different, and they may not be as the interest rates may not be the same as what you're looking at when it comes to a 20% down loan, but it still gets you in the game. So just because you don't have a ton of money saved up doesn't mean you should wait to purchase a home. Okay guys, so that's probably the most common question is how much money do I need to have down? So you have about $800 for an appraisal. You're going to have about $400 to $500 for your inspection, depending on your inspection company. You're going to have $1,000 for earnest money and your down payment. So that's going to be $800, $500, $1,000, so you're $2,300, $2,500 in order to just get into a home. The more you have down, obviously, the better off it's going to be for your loan product and the more things you're going to qualify for. But you can get into a home with as little as $2,500 in your bank account. Okay, guys, I really appreciate your time today. We're going to move on to step number 3. If you have any questions, leave them down below.